conference for the first men's quarterfinal at the MAAC tournament. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach, and then he'll proceed to take questions.
Well, as everybody knows, I've been coaching a long time, and these type games go down as one of my favorites because nothing was going well for us, and that's a tribute to Siena's defense. But when the game was on the line and we were down, we didn't hang our heads and say we're not making shots. I said, just be the better defensive team. Don't give up the three. Don't give up a second shot. We will come back and win. I'm really, really proud of our two seniors because one was 2 for 15. The other was 5 for 14. And they never hung their heads. They just wanted to win the game. And what happened? They got rewarded. Asante makes every free throw. He goes 10 for 10. And Isaiah makes the big shots. To me, that's the true definition of character, these two guys. I'm so proud of them.
All right, Coach, we'll start with Bruce.
Hey, Rick, congratulations on the win. Ross, he stepped up. He seemed to be a big time player when he needed to be. You look at his numbers afterwards, he was 3 for 9 for 3, but it doesn't matter because like in that run, did you feel like he just took it to another level and stepped up?
Well, I wanted him to see, even though he wasn't shooting real well, I immediately called a single double for him. I wanted him to know how much confidence I had in him by calling a play that's strictly for him. And there was not a doubt in my mind, that he was going to take the shot. There was a 98% chance I thought he would make it, but it just shows you what he's all about. And the both of these guys, I'm going to miss them. They want to win badly. And I knew he'd make the shots. He never gets down about missing at all. And both of them really, Asante is a dream point guard because he wants the ball and he's going to make his free throws. So that's a major weapon.
All right, thank you, Bruce. We will go to Ken next. One second. Sorry, technical difficulties. Ken, to you.
Got it. Thank you, Coach. You said last night that Key was playing defense. You kept the score of this game in the 50s until Isaiah got hot in the second half and Barrett got hot. How did that make you feel that the strategy worked out?
More than anything else, I told them, look, Siena's a great defensive team. If you can't be just as good, if not better, we won't win. When we got down in the game, I said, you just play defense. We're going to win this game. I kept telling them every time out, we're going to win this game. Just keep playing defense. And when you look at it, when a team shoots for the game 25% and wins, that's incredible character. Dylan had 4 charges in the game. Barrick had 5 steals in the game. And when things don't go well, you still have to execute and not hang your head. And that's exactly what these two seniors and Dylan did and Barrick did. So a great performance by our guys when it wasn't their night. And I've been preaching defense the whole year that I keep telling them the story about Wichita State and Michigan. Wichita State at the time was the best defensive team in the country. And our guys were looking so forward to playing Michigan. And I just told them, if you're not a better defensive team tonight against Wichita State, we don't play Michigan. And they were that night. And these guys played a great defensive game. It's when you hold Kemper to 6 points and Pickett to 10 points, you're playing really good defense. They were locked in. They rebounded very well the last 2 nights. And we're still a little out of shape, but mentally they're tough guys.
And Coach, how does it feel coming off of the COVID pause and just getting a week of practice, having the team this competitive these last 2 nights?
Well, they're fun to coach because they want to win so badly. And sometimes when you don't play well, but you want to win so badly, you can will yourself to victory. And that's what we did tonight. We didn't turn the ball over. They had 17, we had 12, and we had 9 steals in the game. So it was all about defense tonight. Now, maybe the next game will be more about offense, but really, really proud of both of my point guard and my 2 guard. They stepped up big when they had to win the game.
All right, next, Eugene.
Rick, do you feel like with all the adversity you guys faced, with all the COVID pauses, helped build some resilience in your guys, especially with that last COVID pause right before the MAAC tournament?
Oh, our guys, they've handled it well. What was difficult was we couldn't work out, and we came back really, really in bad physical condition. We went double sessions, but I didn't want to hurt the guys in terms of injuries. And now they're back in shape, because you can't play that type of defense without being in great shape. And we've convinced our guys right now that to be a tournament team, you've got to be a great defensive team, and they showed it tonight.
And you've lamented about the defensive consistency in the regular season, but 2 great games now on that end of the court. Do you feel like your team has turned a corner? What needs to happen to sustain this?
Well, look, we have we brought in 12 new players. So it takes time to build a defense. It takes time. Isaiah Ross is going from an average defensive player to a good defensive player. He rebounds the ball now. He's ball handling much better. And that's what you want to see. But these guys have bought into the defense. They know what now, 2 games in a row, they now realize why they won the game.
All right, next up, Jim.
Coach, normally in these conference tournaments, you have to play every day. I guess you really appreciate having a day off between today and the semifinals.
Well, like I told you, we don't take days off, so we're going to practice, but you mean a game, obviously.
Yes.
But I'm going to give my 2 seniors a little more rest tomorrow. Probably my other senior too as well. But we're locked in. Like I said, we're not in peak form right now, but we're getting there. And this type of defense, when you have 17, when you have 17 turnovers with a well structured team like Siena, that's really something special. And when you have 9 steals, that's something special. So, they fought adversity tonight and came through for our basketball team, and they deserved this victory, and I'm proud of them.
All right, Andrew.
How's it going, Coach? On the MAAC media call, you had talked about your team and how you guys struggled to kind of catch your wind after all the COVID pauses. You just mentioned again how you feel like you're not at peak form. How do you feel about the team's peak after defeating the #1 seed now in the MAAC tournament? Going forward, how do you feel about your team? I guess going forward in the rest of this MAAC tournament.
Well, we're playing great defense, and that's all you want to do. We're getting in better shape. In New York, it's handled a lot differently than other places. We get locked down. We don't even get 10 minutes in the courtyard. So we get locked down. We don't get any exercise at all. And we come out, guys gain weight, guys are winded. But right now we're about 80-90% back, and that's a good thing. And they were able to come away with victories. But in New York, when you're locked down for all these days, like over 60 days, you get way out of shape, especially from a team that was in great shape.
All right, last question, Jacob.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I have actually a 2-parter. First off, this win tonight, certainly you've mentioned how it's the kind of the culmination of why you got into coaching in the first place. Can you describe how you made this run, just when it looked kind of like you were a little bit down? What did you say to your guys in that timeout?
I told them, if you just play defense, I kept saying every time out, I promise you, definitely going to win this game. You're definitely going to win this game. Don't hang your head about miss. I just kept telling these 2 seniors, don't worry about missed shots. Keep shooting. Don't worry about misses. Concern yourself with defense.
And one last question. You and I both have a mutual friend, and he was one of the biggest influences in your life. We lost him a few weeks ago, Tom Kaczowski. What was the thing that made Tom such a big influence to basketball?
Well, Tom was not only a basketball junkie, he loved the game, had great passion for the game, but Tom treated everybody with such incredible respect, humility, kindness. You know, I said to somebody, if you talked about humility and kindness, Tom Kinchowski's picture should pop up in the dictionary. He's just a kind man who loved the game. We're all going to miss him as you get older and you lose people like Tom Kinchowski. You think back at all the times that you spent with him, and you miss people like that because they were such special human beings. And you know, in this day and age now, Tom suffered quite a bit in the last year and a half. But you know, I always say this. One of the things I tell my team, we're not going to complain about being shut down for 60 days because there's over 500,000 Americans that have died, and most of them didn't even have a funeral. You couldn't even pay respects and show up. You know how difficult that is for people that I know. I lost my best friend in 9/11, and it was so difficult never to see him again, never say goodbye. And 520,000 people lost their loved ones and couldn't even have a funeral service. So we were never going to complain about that because of all the loved ones that lost such special people in their life. And to all of us, Tom Kinchowski was that way.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck in the semifinals.
Thank you.
All right, Ken, ask your question.
Thank you. Congratulations, Asante. Just take us through the 10-0 run that you had and the free throws that you made at the very end of the game.
You know, like Coach said, I just kept telling my guys, and he kept telling us, you know, we're gonna win the game. We just got to play defense. You know, and I feel like, you know, down the stretch, especially these two past games, you know, our biggest thing has just been playing defense. And if we play defense, we can beat anybody. You know, we're not really worried about the offense. I feel as though coming out of COVID and stuff like that, the offense was the last thing to go. So, you know, me and Isaiah really not worried about, you know, making shots. We know we're going to make shots. We put a lot of work into that. So it's going to come. But, you know, we just trying to go as hard as we possibly can on defense and play defense to the best of our ability. If we do the things that we're supposed to do on defense, we'll win. And as far as the 10 free throws, you know, that's something that I work on every single day, you know, just making at least 100 free throws a day. So, you know, I felt confident going to the line, and, you know, it was big free throws down the stretch.
Just for Isaiah, 8 minutes to go. You're down 6 points, 42-36, and you make the jumper. How did that make you feel? And then how did you feel when you made the other two right after?
You know, it felt good. You know, all the jumpers I shot today, you know, when I released them, they felt good. So that's really why I stayed the course, because once you're when you shoot the ball and it feels good, you know, they're bound to go in at some point.
Okay, Eugene.
Asante, what's the team pulse right now? Just 2 big wins. You just knocked off the #1 seed. You're moving on to the semis. What's the vibe like in the locker room?
It's always been confidence, you know, me and Isaiah is really confident in ourselves and our teammates. You know, I don't mean disrespect to them. They played a great game, but we feel as though we were supposed to beat everybody anyway. So it's not really, you know, a shock to us. You know, everybody's confident in ourselves. Everybody's, you know, trying to stay the course and just, you know, play it game by game. But, you know, everybody's, you know, we just want to win the championship, and we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And, you know, we finally understand as a team now. You know, I keep preaching it. You know, Isaiah keep preaching it to him. If we play defense, we could beat anybody. So that's all we're just trying to do. And like I said, everybody and you know, you got to coach Coach Pitino. You know, the vibe in there is always going to be how he is. You know, so that's what's going on.
And Isaiah, do you feel with all the adversity that you guys faced with COVID, that last pause lit some sort of fire under you guys, especially after it came such a big weekend after you guys swept Monmouth?
You know, the crazy thing is, like, every time we get a rhythm, get a winning streak, we go into quarantine. So it definitely sparked us, because we know that we would not be a 9 seed in this tournament. We would definitely be higher.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We're going to go to Andrew.
How's it going, Asante? First off, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Though obviously a couple of years ago, you were on Iona team that, you know, went to the NCAA tournament. This time around, like Isaiah just mentioned, you guys are a 9 seed. Talk about the difference in your mentality this time around, and what this is going to take for you guys to get back to the NCAA tournament.
That team was very special. You know, we started off the season 2-9. Actually, Isaiah was around. He actually just set out, but we was 2-9, and you know, we went off we went on a 10-game winning streak at the end of the season to win the championship. You know, that was big for us. So that team is special and always is in my heart. But I feel as though this team is, you know, different. You know, we're built different. And this team, you know, like I said, we're really starting to concentrate and focus on the defensive end. You know, and you know, like Isaiah said before, you know, we shouldn't have been the 9 seed. We feel as though. So, you know, coming in, we always just felt confident. But, you know, as long as we play defense and do the things that coach is telling us to do, we'll be successful on any level. And that's what our mindset is, you know, it's just playing defense, and that'll definitely get the job done.
And for you, Isaiah, you're a guy that obviously heavily relied on to score the ball. You were quiet in the first half, but down the stretch in the second half, you made some big time threes. Just talk about the second half of that game and what you were able to do down the stretch to help you guys, you know, eventually seal the win.
You know, just basically just staying the course. You know, I'm seeing Asante out there still being aggressive. That helps because he wasn't making shots as well. So I wasn't the only one. I see him out there being aggressive. I'm like, all right, I got to do the same thing. You know, we're in the backcourt together. We got to do this together. We're seniors. You know, I was here when he came his first year. So, you know, we got to do it together.
Thank you, players.
Oh.